All right, third time recording this. Hopefully, third time's a charm. 2026 RLCS. I'm gonna go over all the rosters we know so far that are rumored. Some are rumored, some are completed. I'll let you know which ones are completed, which ones are rumored, and I'll talk about them, see what I think, where I rank them, all that good stuff. Let's get to it. First off, Team Falcons, Rally Champions, top two at Worlds, best team in MENA. You know what they decide? TRK, bye bye. In comes Drawley, best player in the world, major champion, major MVP, world champion, two-time EWC champion, in for TRK. From what I understand from TRK's wording, it was a management decision, so you can't really blame the Twins on it. I think it's an interesting move. I don't know if it'll make Falcons better or worse. I think chemistry is very valuable in this game, and I think the chemistry TRK and the Twins had was very good. I think Falcons can either be maybe a little better, maybe a little worse. I think their floor is still going to be obviously super high, but you never really know if this team's going to be better or not. Um, we'll just have to wait and see. So obviously, Drawley's gone from K Corp. That means Attel, Batira staying together, but they need to look for someone. They decide we're getting Juicy. Juicy, major champion, major MVP, was great on a Gentleman's team 2 years ago at Seiko and Itachi. Overperformed incredibly, won a major top fours, top eight at Worlds. Honestly, might have been the most consistent EU team that year. This year wasn't as good. First split didn't make the major. Second split got Eugen, made the major, got top eight. Maybe should have gotten top six. They lost the secret in the top eight match. They probably wanted that back. They needed top two for Birmingham or for Worlds anyway, so they had to play LCQ. Ended up getting 4-0'd by Nip. Didn't make Worlds, but Juicy able to slot in to this K Corp team. This is rumored. However, Patira did just post a video with Juicy playing 2v2. So, as apparently Jack says, everything starts in 2v2s. Assume this one's going through. I think this will make K Corp. I don't know if it'll make them better, but there'll still be a contending team in Europe and in the world. So, well, we'll just see. Maybe their chemistry's better with Juicy. Maybe they're better, maybe they're worse. I don't see them really being better, but I think Juicy's insane and they'll still be a very good team. Now, TRK. TRK goes to Twisted Minds. Not really surprising. Great friends with Nupo. Nupo, incredible player, world champion in 1v1. Yes, I'm not surprising. They need a third. They decide, let's go pick up the GOAT, Monkey Moon. Had a lackluster season last year for someone of his caliber. They weren't that bad, but they're bad for Monkey Moon, Exotic, and Zen's caliber. Um, it was looking grim for him, honestly. Like he was stuck on Vitality. That he needed a buyout, but Twisted Minds, they got that money, bro. They'll come through. They'll help him out. So now we got a second super team in MENA. I think this makes MENA insane. They'll be competing internationally. I think this is easily top like six team in the world. Um, it's going to be interesting to see. Hopefully, they can take on the Falcons a little more than Twisted Minds did last year. Vitality, obviously, Monkey Moon's gone. We need to pick up a new player. Zen Exotic staying together. Exotic, with a pretty bad season, I think most would say. But he's still a great player. Major champion, world MVP, world champion, with BDS. So, and him and Zen are obviously great friends, so they stay together. They decide picking up Stizzy. Stizzy on Dignitas, great player, was able to be on a dig team that nobody expected to be as good as they were. I don't think anybody projected them to be 2 CDU, and they were 2 CDU. So he came off a great season. Obviously, not that good at Worlds, but can't win them all. And he gets teamed up with Vitality. I think this team should be. I think they'll be better than last year. I think Zen, Exotic have a new fire. They don't want to come out as bad as they were last year. Stizzy, obviously great player. Hard to fill Monkey Moon's shoes, but I think he'll do it. Considering Monkey Moon didn't have the best of season last year. But yeah, I think Vitality will still be a top three team in Europe. There's another team I think will be better that I'll talk about later. But yeah. Next we got GK, 4 seed. They decide Archie, he's off elsewhere. I'll let you know where that is later. Oli, he decides he has to go get a new team. So GK bring in apparently Jack from Dignitas. He had a great season on Dignitas. Great player. Obviously going to slot in really well on this team. Bring in Seiko as well, world champion, major champion. He's a great player. Didn't have that great of a season last year, but year before was great on Genomates and overperformed a lot. They're teaming up on GK Esports with the man Joyo. I think he's easily a top four team in EU. I think they'll make every major. I see them being very good and possibly Joyo's best team since Oxygen or Moist, OG Moist. I don't know, but this is a great team right here. Let's leave Jorius. He decided to team up with Oli and CRR. Oli obviously coming out of GK, good season. CRR coming from NA, bad season I'd say for him. Made the first major, didn't make the last two. Was projected to make Worlds, I'd say. Pretty consensus favorite, and eventually bombed out, losing to the boys in the semifinal of LCQ and NA. So he's coming back hungry. Dorius Oli. They're gonna try, punch up to make some majors. I think obviously that's the goal with the seasons that those two players had. They're gonna obviously want to make majors, and we're just gonna see. I don't think they have an org currently. This is also a rumored team. Um, if I didn't say which teams are rumored and which ones are not, I'll go over it real quick. This team's rumored. Um, this team's also rumored, but Stizzy was playing with Zen in comms on his YouTube, so that's pretty much guaranteed. These two are signed, and Drawley is signed. Juicy is rumored, but I said before he's playing with Vatir, it's most likely getting signed. Um, anyways, to recap, we got K Corp keeping Atel Vatira, adding in Juicy, Vitality, keeping Exotic and Zen, adding in Stizzy, GK keeping Joyo, adding Appjack, adding Seiko. We go to Mina, TRK in, Monkey Moon in, with Nupo on Twisted Minds, the Twins teaming up with Drawley on Falcons. So, with that being said, let's go over Hop the Pond. Oh, I completely forgot again about this team, even though I think they're the second best team in EU, Genomates. They decided to target the duo of Nas and Oski, the X Ninjas and Pajamas duo. Yeah, they played great at Worlds, got top eight, lost to K Corp in a very competitive match, and they decided to pick up Archie. Archie, probably the best player on GK last year, was great throughout the season. Yeah, and this is a reuniting of Archie and Oski from Oxygen days. This time they have Nas. I think this will be a top five team in the world. I have really high hopes for this team. I think all three of them are insane, and yeah, should be making lands. Hopefully, it's not like NIP last year where we expected them to make lands and didn't make lands. But yeah, I think top five team in the world at power rank right now. Now, atop the pond to North America. Obviously, you got world champions NRG, Atomic Beast Mode Daniel. Obviously, they're not gonna switch. They got second at Worlds the year before, didn't switch. Got first this year. They're not gonna switch. It's obvious. Most likely top three players in NA as well. There's not really anything that you can do. But besides that, North America, everything's different. Everything. Also, this I completely forgot about this. Scribbles retired at the age of 15. Bit crazy, but it's his life. He can do what he wants. If he wants to retire, go retire. Go do school. You can always pull beast mode and come back when you're 17 and retire for 2 years at 15 years old. Anyways, Shopify Rebellion come in, drop their roster, two-piece Reynolds Wavy, pick up First Killer LJ Kofer along with Violent Panda. Basically the ultimate team minus Chronic, obviously. I do think this team will be like top four in the world. That's where I power rank them right now. Could go down. Maybe this team I'm hoping has a higher floor with Kofer with his demo heavy playstyle. Put first killer, third man, and let LJ do some work on the ball. I think they'll be top four. Yeah. Now obviously this leads Chronic teamless. He decides him, Diaz reveal Space Station. It's quite a random team in my opinion, but it does make sense considering Scribble's retired. I feel like these are three next best players, and yep, they're forming a great team on Space Station. I think this team will be a lot better than people think. I think they'll make some top eights. Internationally, I think they'll easily be the 3 seed in NA. And I think Diaz could possibly get his one skill out in threes with a great coach like Xpear, who brought it out of the three young guns on SSG last year. So that's Space Station. Next, we're gonna go to the 4 seed in NA, the Gen G Mobile and Racing players. Cheese, he leaves. Cheese is gone, and they're targeting Rise to go in for Gen G. Now, this is not done. This is mainly by Gen G's management trying to get Rise. Um, Apparently there have been leaked in scrims as well, so possible. But you never know with Rise, he could just pump fake NA, say, you know what? I'm gonna say I'm going NA. Then I'm gonna just leave and screw up all NA teams. You never know. He could do that again. So Cheese goes to team with Frosty and Sosa. Um, Cheese is still under contract with Gen G, so he needs a buyout in order to play. So as long as he gets that, he's able to play with his roster. I think this is probably the fifth best team in NA. I don't really see a team that's as good as them, but yeah, never know. I think they'll probably make the Studio Land as top five from NA. So it's a good team. Sosa's a lot better than people think. Played great on VP last year. Frosty, very mechanical. Probably needs to learn a little bit in 3v3. Stop heat checking in 2v2 maybe. But yeah, I think this team probably top five NA. As for the rest of NA, it's pretty up in the air. There's not really teams. Um, players like Wavy, Two Piece, Talk, Mech, you know, Poab, the boys, teams like that, still up in there trying to form teams. I believe leaked by Scrims, Talk and Two Piece look to be playing a lot. They were scrimming with Reddles, then obviously Reddles retired, so that is no longer a possible roster. But that's looking like a team. But other than that, NA is pretty up in the air. EU, there's a couple other rosters. I believe Tox and Atomic are teaming, and Rusteezy, Mozzarella, and Astro are teaming. But besides that, that's also up in the air. It's interesting where teams like BDS will go. I believe Mitzer's teaming with Redocin or something along the lines of that, but I'm not 100% sure. Um, but interesting what teams like BDS will do, what players like Tempo will do. Um, yeah, Eugen obviously not named here. He doesn't really have anything possibly teaming with Mitzer and Redocin or looking for other things. But yeah, last team I'm gonna cover, Furia, South American team, dominated South America for God knows how long. Um, they decide we're gonna bring in Swift for Jafinha. Now they didn't have very good performances at the end of the year. They had top 12 world, top 16, um, UWC, top 12 in Raleigh. So obviously not very good um, placings, especially for players of their standard. So they decide we're gonna bring in Swift. Along with Twisted Minds, TRK to Twisted Minds, I'd say this is probably the least unexpected one of the season. Swift, he's just great on Team Secret last year, who was a great team that exceeded many expectations. He's a young prodigy. He's great in ones, great in threes. He's just a great player, and I'm very high on him. So I think this team, the new Furia, again, lost Swift. Bruno as their coach as well, getting rid of Mateus. Probably just wanted a new look. I can't really speak on that. I don't really know what coaches do, but you know, clearly they wanted something else. New team for Fifi as well. Um, but yeah, I think this team easily top eight, should be able to push into top fours, top twos possibly. I think this will put South America back at the top, the new South American super team. Here we go. Here's the recap. We have Genji trying to get Magic Bear Justin, play with Rise. Space Station trying to get Diaz Chronic reveal. Shopify, they're official. LJ Kofor, First Killer, VP Coach, Violent Panda. Period, just talked about them. Yan lost Swift, new South American super team. And then Foot today has been rumored to go sign these three players, Cheese, Frosty, Sosa, which would be good because obviously, like I said, Cheese needs a buyout, so they can pay that. But besides that, that's all I have so far. If you guys like this, I can make another one later on when NA is more laid out and the bottom teams in EU are more laid out. Not bottom, more like fifth through eight teams in EU are more laid out. But besides that, thank you guys. Shout out Belleair and MartianTurtle for the inspiration. Uh, their videos are great. And then shout out Achilleas and Melekiym. Believe that's how you say his name, Mel, for the sources. They're the main news sources in Rocket League and Twitter. So I'll put all their stuff below. Other than that, thank you guys. Appreciate it.